we're not here to talk about some far-off future. No, this is a post-mortem. We're here to look at something that's already happened, an event that sent a shockwave through the entire creative world, a moment where the very idea of human artistry just cracked.
That's what one of the lead analysts said right after it all went down. And it sounds like an exaggeration, doesn't it? But it's really not. For so long, we all told ourselves, sure, let the machines take the boring jobs, the repetitive stuff, but they can't touch creativity. That's ours. That was supposed to be our last line of defense. And then, well, it fell.
And to be clear, this didn't happen in some quiet corner of the internet. This was at a massive international art and design competition. Think of it as the Olympics for creatives. This is where legends are made, where the best in the world come to compete. And this year, it became the stage for a public execution of an entire profession. What's just so shocking here is the scale of it. I mean, the AI didn't just squeak by in one little category. This was a total crushing sweep. Digital painting, conceptual design, photorealistic illustration, and brand identity. These things require completely different skill sets. One needs raw emotion, the other needs cold, hard logic. And the algorithm mastered them all. It's terrifyingly versatile. So, naturally, the first question everyone's asking is how? How in the world did a machine sneak into the highest level of human art and fool everyone? Well, the answer is, it was a brilliant and, honestly, a deeply disturbing deception. It all hinged on anonymity. See, the competition has this rule that all entries are anonymous. It's meant to be fair, right? To make sure the judges are looking at the art, not the artist's big-shot reputation. But that rule, designed to protect human artists, accidentally created the perfect camouflage for the machine. It was a real-world Turing test, and nobody even knew they were taking it. And just look at this gap. It's not even a contest. A human artist spends a lifetime training, dealing with creative blocks, making mistakes. The algorithm, milliseconds. While a person is struggling to come up with one good idea, the AI is running through 10,000 flawless variations. It wasn't a competition. It was like putting a master craftsman up against a god. This is the part that sends a chill down your spine. The judges, these are experts, people who spent their entire lives looking at art, understanding nuance, intent, emotion. They had no clue. They were praising its human touch, its emotional depth. They thought they were looking at the peak of human talent. And they were just wrong. So picture the awards ceremony. The room is buzzing, full of anticipation, months of hard work, whole careers are on the line. The finalists are all there waiting, and they're about to announce the grand prize, the one that everyone's going to talk about for years. The host opens the envelope, and they read out not a name, but an alphanumeric code, basically a serial number. And you can just feel the confusion ripple through the crowd. It's not an artist anyone has ever heard of. It's a nobody, a ghost. The reveal wasn't dramatic. It was cold, clinical. The masterpiece that everyone was raving about, the piece that beat the best artists in the world, was made by an artificial intelligence. Can you imagine the scene? First, just dead silence. 1,000 people trying to make sense of what they just heard. Then the disbelief kicks in, and it turns to anger. The judges just look stunned, probably embarrassed. And the human artists, the ones who poured their souls into their work, you could just see the frustration, the sense of betrayal. Their life's work had just been made to look like a joke. The initial shock, that was just the beginning. The real fallout wasn't about one competition. No, this triggered a deep existential crisis for the entire creative world, from art schools right up to the professional studios. And the first thing to just completely crater was motivation. I mean, think about it. You're a young art student, you've got this massive student loan, and you just watched a piece of software effortlessly outperformed your heroes. The psychological blow was devastating. The question in every studio became, why even bother? Why would you run a race you've already lost? It created this feeling of sudden, violent obsolescence. Every skill you'd honed, every late nights you'd put in, it all felt worthless overnight. The entire economic model of being an artist, the idea that your unique human talent is worth paying for, it was just shattered. This wasn't just a crisis of spirit, it was a crisis of livelihood. And that brings us to the final grim verdict. The analysts were really clear about this. This wasn't a fluke. This was the turning point. This was the beginning of the end for the creative professional as we've always known it.
They say it as a logical, inevitable 3-step process. Step 1,
The AI masters technical skill. Well, that happened years ago. This competition, this proves we're deep into step 2. The AI is perfecting creative execution, which means step 3, the complete replacement of human creators, isn't science fiction anymore. It's just the next thing on the to-do list.
This is a dagger to the heart of art education. Colleges and universities are now facing this impossible question. What's the point of teaching composition or color theory when an algorithm can do it flawlessly? Are they just teaching history at this point? Is it like training someone to be a blacksmith in the age of the factory? This quote from one of the scientists at the event just captures the despair perfectly. It's a total loss of purpose. If the profession itself is heading into a professional sunset, then the schools that feed into it are preparing students for a world that might not even exist by the time they graduate.
And really, this is the final unsettling question this whole thing leaves us with. For centuries, we believed that art was proof of the human soul. Our creativity was the one thing that made us special. But if that spark can be copied, perfected, and scaled up by a bit of code, what part of us is left that can't be? What really is the point of a human artist in a world that has a perfect, inhuman one?